السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alia's case. In connection with Yasmin, a girl came to us with her mother. Her name was Alia, and she was about 16 or 17 years old. She had been suffering from severe abdominal pain for many days. She had already received treatment at the hospital, where she was given IV drips and various injections, but there had been no improvement at all. When the girl came to the clinic, she was crying from the intensity of the pain. I comforted her, then performed healing for 10 minutes, and afterward, she reported that she was already feeling a bit better. She then went home. However, when she came back the next day, she was laughing and seemed very happy. She reported that the abdominal pain had completely disappeared. When she came on the third day, she said that she now had severe pain in her molar, the back tooth. Her mother explained that she had eaten betel nut that day, which caused the toothache, and that one tooth was already damaged. I then performed healing again with the same approach. When she came on the fourth day, and I asked about her condition, she said that about half an hour after receiving the healing, the toothache had completely disappeared, as if it had never happened. Case of Jinn. One day, at Muhammadi Welfare Clinic, 3 men came in who seemed to be brothers and looked quite distressed. They said that for years, their family had been troubled by strange problems. They believed their house was affected by jinn. Everyone in the family, men, women, and children, lived in fear. They even described how their younger brother's newlywed wife had died due to these supernatural effects. While she was pregnant, she would see a witch in her dreams who threatened her to give up her child, or else she and her baby would be killed. Eventually, before the child was born, she passed away. One of the men recounted that just a week ago, while the whole family was out at a wedding, they returned home to find the TV smashed on the floor, as if someone had forcefully thrown it down. Seeing this, his wife fainted immediately. That night, the whole family stayed at a relative's house and had been living there for several days since. His wife insisted she would never return to that house. I listened and suggested perhaps the TV had fallen for some reason, but they explained it was an old, large TV in a wooden case placed on a wide table. There was no way it could have fallen by itself, and nothing else in the house was disturbed, so a thief was unlikely. They added that their sister was connected to our spiritual circle and had advised them to consult Kashif Bai, who was authorized for spiritual healing. When they took their problem to him, he meditated and then abruptly told them to lock up the house immediately and not let anyone enter, saying the house was under a severe influence. They asked him to help, but he said it was beyond his ability. Disappointed, they came to me after being referred to by an acquaintance. They explained that their wives and children were all insisting the house be sold, but I told them that if they wanted, I could cleanse the house of these negative entities. Even if they sold the house, it should be spiritually cleansed so that the next residents would not suffer. After discussing among themselves, the 3 men decided to have the house cleansed. I scheduled the spiritual cleansing for the next day after Maghrib prayers. The following evening, I went with Mr. Mohsin and the men to their 2-story house. They showed us the rooms, especially the one where the TV had been broken, and pointed out the bathroom next to it, which they believed was a center of the supernatural activity. One of them also showed us a falsa, gruia tree in the courtyard, planted by their deceased brother. Strangely, even though it was late December and cold, the tree was bearing fruit, which surprised us as well. They asked whether they should cut down the tree, but I advised against it. Afterwards, I asked for a prayer rug and began the spiritual cleansing. I energized each room individually, and in this way cleansed the entire house, which took about an hour. Afterwards, I returned to the clinic with Mr. Mohsin. About a week later, I called the family, and one of the men came to the clinic. He reported that since the cleansing, the house had been peaceful and nothing unusual had happened. About a month and a half later, I checked in again through Mr. Mohsin, and they said, "Thank Allah, since that day, the house has remained peaceful, and there have been no further incidents." Varda's case. Mr. Mohsin's wife's niece, Varda, who was about 16 years old, had come to stay at their house for 3 days. Mr. Mohsin's daughters were also about her age, and they were all quite good friends. One day, Mr. Mohsin said to me that he wanted me to do healing for Varda. I asked the reason, and he said that she was suffering from migraine, so she had been having a severe headache for 2 days, and the girl was very troubled. I said, "All right, call her, and I will do her healing." So Varda came, and I did healing for 10 minutes. Afterwards, I asked her how she was feeling, and she said that now she didn't feel any pain in her head at all. Mr. Mohsin and the other family members were surprised by this. Varda also told me that she had tried Reiki for this illness, and the benefit she got from my 10 minutes of healing was better than what she had gotten from 6 months of Reiki.